All right. Just did that one previously review as well. So, okay, looking at your forum here. So, Kiriko, why don't you fill me in on what got you interested in coaching?
I strive to improve every time I play this game, and I feel like I always have proved to myself that I can, just despite being old as shit, I can compete, with other people in my skill bracket.
How old is that, if you don't mind me asking?
I'm 27.
Ha! See, you're not that old. Do you know how old I am? Wait, I might be older than you. Oh crap. Wait, I am older than you. Crap, I'm 28. Yeah, see, you're not that old. I'm getting really defensive right now. You really put me on the. You really started this on a really bad note. Just FYI. Yeah, could not have done worse. Yikes! How old does that make me? Yikes! Okay, yeah. Okay, so you want to get better. Why do you want to get better? What is it about this game, or just in general, that makes you want to get better?
I've always been like that. I mean, with every FPS multiplayer game I played, I've always wanted to be the best.
And have you ever been the best or been good at anything?
Maybe Rock Band. That's not an FPS.
All right, that's no, that's okay. See 15, 16, 17-year-old me, actually current me, is like very impressed. Rock Band rocks. I love that game so much, and honestly, if I had that game, I'd play a lot more than I would. But yeah, how good were you at it? Like what level are we talking here?
I would be expert. I would warm up with the Nightmare songs.
You're disgusting.
Yeah,
man.
That's how I would warm up.
All right. Well, I'm not only angry at you for the age comment, but I'm also now jealous as well. So okay, but you have gotten. I mean that's quite difficult. So how did you get to that point with Rock Band?
Just playing every day. Just going and playing with my boys and just going at it hours at a time. Well, this is back when I had like 8-10 hours to kill on a weekend. I don't really quite have. I can't really commit that sort of time to Overwatch. I mean, if I could, then I'd probably be way higher than I am. So.
Yeah. Well, that's fair enough. So obviously, whenever we're talking with old people, feeble, the elderly, the geriatric, when it comes to Overwatch, that's the number one issue, is always the time commitment, right? That's just like the nature of being busy and doing other things and putting priorities, at least elsewhere, is that it's not so much the mechanics. It's not so much, I'm too old, or I don't understand the game, I'm too slow for these whippersnappers. It's just, I'm just not as interested, or I just don't have the availability to put in the time. So when you come to get coaching, I assume it's trying to find ways to make that time more efficient so that, okay, I don't have more time, but what can I do with the time that I have? Am I assuming correctly?
Yeah, basically.
Okay. And we will do our best to make sure that happens. So let's start with another question here. So break me down your history in Overwatch. When did you start playing? How long have you been playing? What ranks did you hit? What heroes did you main? What do you think of Overwatch 2? And so
on. Let's see. I started playing in 2018 on Xbox. I hit 2800 peak on support. 3,300 on DPS, and I think maybe 26 on tank.
Okay.
On console watch, and I played that until 2020, and I shifted over to PC. Placed plat on support. Basically, exclusively played support on PC.
Why did you transition, and why support?
I wanted to have like a better like impact on the game on a role that's like maybe like 30% of the work. Does that make sense?
No, explain yourself a little bit more.
Okay, sorry. So like I the way I see support is that like you either carry or get carried. So I want to carry on that role because I feel like that's the role that's the hardest to do so on.
Okay. Is it the role specifically, or the heroes that you're playing in the role?
Both. I'm not really. My hero pool is kind of wonky, and it's changed over the years. For example, in Overwatch 1, I was really heavy on Brig, and very very heavy on Brig and Mercy. And nowadays, I'm still the Mercy, still playing Mercy, but I've also added Ana. I've added Baptiste as well, Lucio, characters that I didn't really play in Overwatch 1. Didn't play them at all in console watch either. So I know it's not really smart, or not smart, but not really efficient to focus on multiple heroes like that.
Yeah, no, it's fine. We'll talk more about it later. So you're saying that when you transition to support and PC, Brig and Mercy, and that had to do more with the skill that you perceived required to carry, and absolutely nothing to do with the fact that they were not mechanically difficult?
I mean, this is back when like you could just walk with Brig and not even get looked at.
Thus my confusion. Did you have those concerns mechanically though, transitioning? Or was it just so happened that you really did enjoy Brig Mercy, and it just so happened that those heroes you felt like had that carry challenge that you were referring to earlier?
The carry challenge was like maybe like half of it. The other half was like I really wanted to push myself and like get out of like not use a controller anymore, because I remember my very first season of Overwatch 1 on PC was just me playing Brig on a controller, and I really wanted to push myself to use keyboard and mouse, and my rank suffered because of it. But eventually, I mean, I dropped to like maybe bronze, but I eventually worked myself back up.
Good for you. Good for you. Nice. Okay. And so you have a very interesting story. Please continue. So you Brig Mercy, you transition to PC. You transition from controller on PC, and you drop really low. You work your way back up. Where are we on the timeline right now in terms of 2019? Are we 2020 yet? Where are we at?
All right, so PC Watch 2020.
Yeah.
I didn't really get back into Plat until 2021.
Okay. I mean, this was playing Brig Mercy still, or this is when your hero pool with support started to expand a little bit?
I was still really playing mainly Mercy.
What is it about Mercy to you? Because Mercy is, and I'm not necessarily disagreeing with you, but when people talk about support role being challenging, Mercy is not the first hero that appears in that argument usually. So what is it about Mercy for you? Because that is, I know your hero pool has expanded since then, but that was the first one that seems to have been the priority for you. So why?
I'm mainly trying to not. I was also playing Mora too, if that makes a difference.
Yes.
I'm trying because I personally feel like Mercy takes a little bit more skill than Mora.
I would agree with that wholeheartedly. But why not something more aim dependent? Was it just you wanted to find a support that was not as mechanically challenging, but still difficult?
In my aim.
Got it.
Not confident.
So you're not. So you're not looking for the easy way out. You're just looking for the easy way out mechanically. So you wanted to play a hero that was still challenging, but you were so unconfident in your mechanics that you just didn't want to do anything mechanically challenging. Is that correct?
I would. If I had to play an aim-dependent hero, it would definitely be Ana, which is what seasons 32 through 36.
This really is 2022 now, right?
I believe so.
Okay.
I'm terrible with.
I am too. That's okay. I still start. I literally get Overwatch League seasons confused, and there's only been 5 of them. So, okay. So you've slowly expanded your pool. Is that because you've gotten more confident with mechanics, or you've just been bored playing the same heroes that don't require mechanics?
I wouldn't say bored. I would just say wanting more. So I kind of put down the Brig.
Why? Why wanting more?
Just to expand my hero pool, and just to like just so I could play, just so I could be more versatile.
But why is that?
I was playing on teams at the time.
See, that's the answer. Okay. Keep going. Sorry.
I was playing on teams at the time, and I was basically main support,
Mm-hmm.
and then now I'm main and flex support. But I'm
Mm-hmm.
better. I'm still better at main support. I think I always will be.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Okay. I'm probing a lot because I just want to understand like what's motivating you to play these different heroes and what you really truly enjoy about the game. You know, because there's nothing wrong with enjoying avoiding a mechanical of enjoying non-mechanical heroes, but I do think there's something wrong about avoiding mechanical heroes because you're scared that you're not going to be able to perform mechanically, when if you just simply put the time in, then you would be able to, right? It's the same reason for transition from controller to PC as it is now. But if it's just, I really like Mercy and I like the non-mechanical aim dependent heroes just because they're more fun to me, and I still add the other ones as necessary, then that's also fine with me too. I just want to make sure that we're doing things for the right reason moving forward. You kind of see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Okay. So where are you at right now? So you said your hero pool is pretty expansive right now. You know it's not necessarily the best for improvement, but like we're like percentage wise, 25% Mercy, 20% BAP, 10% Ana, 30% Brig. Where are you at playing nowadays?
Right now, I'm really like pooping the bed right now because I'm really trying to force myself to learn Kiriko just for. I have like 11 comp hours in Kiriko this season, and my win rate is 38.
It's okay. Why are you learning Kiriko?
I want to learn Kiriko because she was probably the most interesting character to come out in a long time. To me at least, not just lore wise, not just like story wise, but
what about team wise? Are you playing with the team right now?
Not at the moment. But I was like maybe a couple weeks ago, and I was in Kiriko jail, as they put it. So
got it. But you're doing it selfishly, at least right now, improving Kiriko.
Well, it kind of worked out because they forced me on the character for scrims, and I ended up falling in love with it. But I just can't. I'm just not. I don't think I'm really grasping. I mean, I've watched so many guides on her, and I've even watched some of your VOD reviews on Kiriko. I don't know. I'm just not.
That's impossible. If you watched any of mine, you would be GM already. So something is wrong. Okay.
I didn't watch the GM Kiriko one.
Yeah, see, that was it. I knew it. If you've not watched every single one, like at least 5 times over, then there's something wrong with you.
I've watched maybe a couple of them once each.
I also hear that if you PayPal me like $5,000, maybe $10,000, I get them confused. That suddenly your rank will climb up, so that might be an issue as well. Also, write me into your inheritance as well. Those things have been known to work. Okay, so so maybe it's just not clicking. I mean, there's a reason why I offer coaching, even though I put out a lot of content. So we'll take a look at it here. So let's keep looking through your formula. So I've beaten you over the head with the stupid Overwatch history question for long enough. Let's keep looking here. So I would like one day to reach the rank of Grandmaster. Okay, I would too. Well, I'm just kidding. I already have, so get rolled.
I mean, if you aim for the stars, or whatever the quote goes, if you aim for the moon, you land amongst the stars, right?
Or something like that, or something like if you aim for the stars and you miss, and you'll fall plummeting to your death. I think that might be the other one. Okay, so what does your typical training week look like? 15 minutes. Obviously, let me know if this has changed because it's been 2 weeks. 15 minutes aim lab before 2 to 3 unranked matches before 2 to 4 hour ranked sessions per day. Is that the case still, or has that changed?
I'm kind of weaning myself off of aim labs and kind of trying to use more the Vax
Excellent.
code.
How is that going? Are you bored out of your mind, or you enjoy it?
I am bored, but I'm seeing change.
I appreciate the honesty. I will suggest to you the code, which will be less boring, but with the caveat that I have not explored it enough, and that is my problem, not yours. However, if you want to get ahead of the game, this code here seems like it has even more potential than Vaxta, and it's a lot more interesting. So I would try that one out. I haven't figured out the settings yet, but there are extensive settings to try with that one. Highly recommend that one. But continue. Sorry. Training schedule.
This is kind of weird because I'm more of a night owl. because of work.
Mm-hmm.
But I play a majority of my ranked games in the morning.
Mm-hmm.
So maybe I will I'll do the Vax to Code, go into unranked, just to warm up, and then I will play for maybe closer to 2 to 3 hours, maybe not 4. If I push 4, then I'm really pushing it.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
But 3 hours of ranked, and that's just about all that my brain will be able to handle.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Seems reasonable.
And this is not me like just playing Mercy and M1ing and high guying it. Like this is me like sweat. Like I am sweating.
Good.
I am playing. I am playing like I'm in the freaking World Cup or something.
Delighted to hear that. Good. So, do you feel that the 2 to 3 unranked matches are necessary for you to warm up mentally?
I feel like if I start on a win, even if it's unranked, then I'll continue on wins.
So it's more of a psychological getting yourself rolling.
It's hopium, but yeah.
Okay. Because I think, especially when you're combining that with 15 minutes of Vaxta, I do not see that necessarily being really that efficient use of your time. You see what I'm saying? My question is, especially if you're a little bit tight on the time thing, which not too tight, 2 to 3 hours is all right. Why? I think 2 to 3 unranked games is unnecessary. I would prefer 15, 20 minutes, maybe one unranked game, maybe, and then just get into it. Because the whole point is that, like, if you're warmed up mechanically and you're at least awake, it doesn't really matter if you're playing ranked or quick play. Actually it does matter. I should be playing ranked, but my point is that there's not a real big difference. You know what I'm saying? If you go in, even in your first ranked game, and you're like, my first ranked game is always a little bit slow, does it really matter? It's just practice. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's like, why does that matter that much in the long run? You know what I'm saying? You're not playing to win one game to get to Diamond or Masters or whatever, right? We're investing in the long run here. So why waste any time in quick play? Why waste any time when you could be practicing a little bit more intensely a little bit sooner? You see what I'm saying?
I do, and I never really thought of it like that. I guess.
Yeah.
I guess I just thought that maybe if I played an unranked game, then I would just be that would be good enough.
I want you to experiment with it, because I'm not egotistical enough to say that I know exactly what you need at all times for what works best for you. I think you need to go find that out, but I would encourage experimenting with it,
right?
And seeing if because I don't ranked is not anything wonderful, magical, and scary. It's just a game. It's just Overwatch. You know what I'm saying? So like. But you should always be trying really hard, giving it your best effort. But it shouldn't be like it's something special that you have to warm up for, and then I gotta get myself ready, and I gotta get my water here and my just my warm. Okay, I'm gonna go play ranked. You know what I'm saying? That's it. It's really that
right now.
Yeah. What is it?
That I feel so called out right now.
I mean, that's really all it is. Well, the thing is, it's like. The reason why I'm saying this is because somebody I know very well used to play ranked like that back in the day. And that person used to not play ranked outside of like 2 or 3 games for a week. Now, obviously, this is on the opposite extreme and had to be perfectly warmed up and feel hot. And okay, do I feel like I played a couple quick play games and I'm feeling really hot? Like when you said, if I win my quick play games and I'm feeling hot, then I'm going to win my ranked games. That was like, oh my gosh, you sound just like me years ago. That's exactly the same kind of mindset I was in. But it's just like, it's giving ranked way too much respect. There's a balance between giving it your best efforts, but not giving it that much respect. Do you kind of see what I'm saying? I don't know if that makes any sense. It's like, it's like respecting the content, but not really. Yeah. It's like when just think about this. You go to the gym, you work out. You want to warm up, right? But if you fail a lift in the gym, nobody cares. You know what I'm saying? Nobody's watching you. Nobody cares. You're gonna be like, oh crap, I failed it. I need to rest, and I'll try again next week, or I'll do a little bit lighter weight, and I'll just keep training. But like, it's not a competition. Do you kind of see what I'm saying? Like, the reason why we give effort in ranked is not because we're trying to win. It's because we need to actually put effort to practice. But at the same time, if you fail, nobody cares. If your first ranked game is a little bit slow and you lose, nobody cares. Nobody cares. It's just practice. I just actually had this discussion in my previous session to this one, where it's like, this guy's like really upset when he's losing ranked games, and it's like, nobody cares. It's like, you are lucky enough to not be a professional Overwatch player. So even if you're never ever playing to win, never, not once. There's not a single game in your Overwatch history that you're going to be playing to win unless you enter into a tournament, right?
Right.
So even if you're like GM top 500 playing for your rank 1, if you lose that game, it doesn't matter. You can queue again, right? There's no unless you're an Overwatch League or contenders, or like I said, playing for some tournament, there's never we have to win this one game. So one game is the same as any other. So as long as you're warm, there's no reason to play anything but ranked, unless you're playing with friends and the MMR and it gets weird. And obviously there's exceptions to that rule for the most part. Does that make sense?
Yeah, I mean, yeah, I get what you're saying. I mean, I don't really get upset when I lose. I just even when I get flamed, I just kind of like,
Good.
whatever.
Good.
I just GG go next. I mean, I'm not gonna remember this tomorrow.
Good. So I'm probably making too many assumptions here. For you, it's more about just being efficient with your time, right? If I don't know, I want to not how, for whatever reason that you're doing those 2 to 3 unranked games, that is not the most efficient use of your time.
Okay.
And I think that could be put elsewhere. So I think if anything, if you want a longer warm up, then you should be doing something that's more mechanically challenging, like more Vaxta, more tryhard, more code that I sent you there, because that will actually help your aim. You know what I'm saying? Whereas quick play, it's going to be kind of silliness. Okay. Do you have any questions with that?
No, I think I grasped that concept.
Okay. It's nothing crazy, but it's a little adjustment that I think you can make, because I really do think your training time, by the way, is actually pretty good. What rank are you at right now?
Right now, Plat 4.
Okay, so there's no reason for you to be Plat 4. At least in terms of the amount of training. You are training enough to be improving, at least in terms of raw time. Now, transitioning to that, we have to do a little bit of investigation. Is the quick play thing doing you any favors? No. Second thing here is hero pool, which you talked up earlier. Mercy, Kiriko, Ana, Moira, Lucio. Is that still the case? Where does the breakdown of heroes percentage-wise right now? As in the last week, 2 weeks, where are we at?
Let's say like a solid half my games are probably auto lock Mercy. And then the other 3 are just, I'm gonna be real with you, man. I'm playing those if my character just gets picked. So
you're playing what?
But I'm playing those characters if Mercy gets picked from the start. But it's not like I'm not like an OTP or anything like that. It's just like the character that I statistically have performed the best on just got picked, so I will pick the next best thing.
Right.
Which is, character 2 or character 3, or maybe even comp dependent, like if our tank is running ball or something,
Okay, so your Mercy, Prio Mercy, and then at least Kiriko's in the back pocket if Mercy gets locked, or you feel like playing something else. Is it just Kiriko, or is this also Moira, Lucio, Abomination on my screen still applicable?
Lucio's like a 5%er. I don't even know why I put him on there.
Okay, that's good. So we can cross that one off the list. Brilliant. What about Moira?
Moira, oh man, have I played her? Yeah, I have played her 9 hours this season. I'm trying to wean myself off her so bad, but
why do you not enjoy her?
I do enjoy her. I do enjoy her on paper. However, it's just I just can't win with her. I really can't.
Okay.
I'm physically unable to win.
What about Ana?
Ana, I like Ana.
How much Ana do you play?
I play I think that's my second most played hero.
Oh, okay. And then Kiriko's like third, fourth?
Yeah.
Okay. So with the amount of time that you're playing right now, I think the good news is that we don't have to do anything drastic, similarly to your training schedule, but there is significant room for improvement. Lucio needs to be played not at all. You have 5 heroes on your list. Any games you play in Lucio, I would recommend against it. Okay? And then we're still left with 4 heroes. But even if you're playing an average of 3 heroes, or 3 hours, a day, you should not be playing 4 heroes. You should be playing 3. The number of hours you play, number of heroes you play. See what I'm saying?
Right.
That way we can guarantee, and then you need to be actively pursuing at least 2 games, preferably 3, on each of those heroes every day. Do you see what I'm saying?
Right.
So not just, today I played a lot of Mercy, tomorrow I might play a lot of Ana. No. We, like, obviously some days you'll play a little bit more Mercy, some days you'll play a little more Ana, but we want to at least get in 1 or 2 games of Ana, 1 or 2 games of Kiriko, 1 or 2 games of Mercy, or if you want to do Moira, replace Ana with Moira, whatever. Now, that can change meta to meta, month to month. We're about to have a patch today. Maybe Kiriko is literally trash and not even fun for you anymore, okay? So Ana, Moira, Mercy, right? Maybe Lucio gets buffed and you're like, I want to play Lucio. Okay, drop the Mercy, or drop the Moira, you know what I'm saying? But you need to find out what that breakdown needs to look like, and you need to stick as close to that 3 hour, 3 heroes rule, 2 games of each a day, at least, as close to that as possible. Does that make sense?
Right.
You sound like you want to elaborate.
Could you elaborate just a little bit more?
Sure. So what we want is, if you're playing for 3 hours about every day, you want to focus on 3 heroes in your hero pool.
Right.
Okay.
All right. I got that one.
And you want to try and put in around at least 2 games of each of those 3 heroes per day. So that's 6 games, right? Now,
so like
you're
6 games would be like my minimum, right?
Well, yes, that would be your minimum. What that means, though, is that the rest of the 3 hours that you play on most days, or 2.5 or whatever, you might play a little bit more Mercy. You might play a little bit, maybe you get 4 games on Ana, maybe you get 3 games on Kiriko. I have a feeling it's going to be more Mercy. That's fine. But I don't want a day goes by where you don't play any Ana or any Kiriko or any Mercy, right?
Right.
Or you only play 1 game of Ana like 4 days in a row, because then you're just not getting enough practice at the hero. Do you see what I'm saying?
Okay.
So we want consistency with the heroes within your hero pool. And then you can change your hero pool depending on the meta. So if, let's say, Mercy gets trash nerfed, or Kiriko gets buffed, or you enjoyed this hero more, or I tried that hero, or maybe the new support comes out and you're like, I really like that support, you can flip-flop heroes in and out of your hero pool on a month-to-month basis. You don't have to say, Mercy, Kiriko, Ana, that's all I play for the next year. That doesn't have to be at all. But at least on a 2, 3, 4 week block schedule, those are the heroes you need to focus on to give yourself time to practice. Does that make sense?
Yeah,
okay.
That makes sense.
Now, I'm making a lot of assumptions here. Is Mercy, Kiriko, Ana, are those the heroes that you think right now that you should be focusing on? Now, you can put more time into this on your own, but what do you think? Because you want to lean into the heroes that you enjoyed the most, the ones that you just have the most fun playing.
Right. I remember you saying you could one trick any character to masters.
You can
if you enjoy the character and you're good at them.
You absolutely can. So, is it Mercy, Kiriko, Ana? You might need to put some more thought into that. We can leave that question for now, but just something to think about.
Okay.
Sleep is a little bit on the low end. I would here's what we're gonna do. We're gonna take those 2 to 3 games of quick play. Maybe we get in 1 more ranked game, or maybe we just get an hour of sleep. 5 to 7 is definitely on the lower end if you're trying to, like, I know busy work, things like that, but
I work overnight, and like sleep is just like so scarce for me.
I hear you. But if you're looking to improve your mechanics and your ability to focus and like learn things better, more sleep is just going to be so much better. Like, even if it's just a little bit more, right? Like, if we could make that 5 to 7, 6 to 7, that's just going to be so good.
Okay.
But yeah, it's just long term. It's just so important. Okay, last question here. So I'm going to be honest with you. The amount of time that, especially if we make these adjustments with your quick play, with your sleep, and with your hero pool. Just there's minor adjustments, nothing major, right? Like your hero pool wasn't horrible. It was just a little bit too expansive, a little bit too messy. I don't see any reasons why we can't get you to diamond, at least. You're not playing a ridiculously low amount. There's no reason for you not to get to diamond. What do you feel is holding you back? Last question here. I am very stubborn and tilt easily. I cannot be flamed in a ranked match. It will ruin my match and affect my gameplay. I'm also not mechanically gifted. Please break those down if those have changed. Elaborate. Just fill me on the details here.
That's still kind of true. However, since I filled that out, I have been really working hard towards it.
Yeah. Okay.
Like, I feel like my mental has been really the thing holding me back.
Okay.
Where it's like, oh well, this, Joe Schmo 492 says that I suck, so I'm gonna let that ruin my day. I just got tired of it. It's you can call it cliche, maybe not, but like I just if I feel the heat, like if I start to get hot, I'll just turn off chat. I'll leave PC. I won't even have all chat on.
Yeah, see, that was gonna be my question: is what have you changed? I guess. So that's leaving chat or whatever.
Because I just don't want to. If I worry about what other people are saying, then that's just not gonna be good for my gameplay. So I would just rather focus on my gameplay. If it starts.
Sure.
You know how.
Of course I know. Of course I know. Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I've been playing this game for a long time. I've been called the N-word more times than I'd like to count. So, it's like. It's like here's something. I want your thoughts in this one. So this is a legitimate question here. My experience with the game has been you either go down one of two roads. Either you mute everything, team chat, match chat. Maybe you start in team voice, you leave team voice, it starts getting toxic, whatever. Or you join everything. And you like build this iron mental where nothing bothers you, where you're just like, look at these clowns, these guys are idiots, these guys are actually flaming a rank game, like how miserable can you be? And so you just kind of get used to it and tone it out, you know what I'm saying? Right. But you can't do in between. You got to either completely avoid it, or you just got to get to the point where you're just totally numb to it and it just doesn't bother you at all. Now, I find myself doing the former more often because I just can't be bothered to like listen to half these clowns. My wife, however, has been the one that she always leaves the team chat and match chat on, and she just laughs and sends me screenshots of what the people say to her afterwards, and it doesn't bother her at all.
My girlfriend does the same thing. She plays on console still.
Yeah.
And she does the exact same thing. It's so funny.
Yeah, it's like it gets to a point where it doesn't really bother you at all, So I don't know. What do you think about it?
I would like to be numb to it.
Yeah.
But I'm not quite there yet. I'm not
That's
iron.
Fair.
I'm more like a bronze copper-ish. So.
Okay, fair enough. You and me both. Okay. I thought I was iron, and then this is the story I keep sharing with everybody that I played this one rank game. I think it was on like Gibraltar on Monkey or something. This is like a couple months ago. And honestly, I didn't play that well. And to be honest, the rest of my team didn't play that well either. It was just a complete train wreck, And somebody in team chat goes, "Is this the real Spilo?" No way, because the real Spilo wouldn't be this bad. And I was like, oh, yeah, that one stunk. I'm not gonna lie. So yeah, okay. So at least you're being honest about your expectations right now. Now, that was only
they really came for your ego, man.
Yeah, that one cut me to the quick. Okay, so obviously the form, since then we've done a little bit better, but where are we at right now? So you talked about you cannot be flamed in a ranked match or it'll ruin my match. So you've done a better job playing around that, avoiding that. Anything else there you want to elaborate
on? When I filled out that form, I was in the middle of a 23-game loss streak.
Oh my gosh. Holy crap, that's the worst I've ever heard. I've never heard that before.
I dropped from Plat 2 to Plat 5.
Good gosh.
By the grace of God, I did not go back to gold.
Okay, but, okay. Now, when we see something like that, you can blame bad luck, but there is something that you can also guarantee that it's you. Now, I have a theory, as to why win streaks and loss streaks are more prevalent in Overwatch 2. At least this seems to be people complain about more, because I never heard of this in Overwatch 1. Never. My theory is, ignoring Blizzard or maybe the MMR is stickier, so it's more stubborn. It doesn't let you drop as low as you could or climb as high as you could as fast. But my theory is that even if you look at it objectively, you are 10% of the battlefield, whereas in Overwatch 2, you were like 8.3%, right? So you're like proportionally a bigger percentage of the battle. So if you are like tilted or confident, either bad or good, you are more likely to carry team fights if you're feeling super hot, or you're more likely to completely single-handedly throw team fights if you're feeling super tilted. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So obviously when you go on a 23 game loss streak, yeah, it could be Blizzard screwing you over, but it's also something's wrong. You're doing something wrong.
No, I mean, I didn't blame.
No.
I didn't blame anyone else besides. I mean, that's just.
Right.
I'm the one that decided to keep queuing. So
okay.
That's all on me.
And that ties directly into the other part of this question, which is I am very stubborn and tilt easily. So we talked about the tilt easily a little bit, but also you're very stubborn. You want to elaborate on that one a little bit, please?
I'm very hard to teach.
What do you mean by that?
I will pick up.
Should I be scared?
I will pick up good habits and then drop them immediately. I don't know. I just get like it's only really when I get hyper tilted.
Yeah.
I'm just like, oh, I'm just gonna play more into their backline, just like how I've always played this character, instead of I don't play smart.
Yeah.
I feel like you know?
Well, how much of that is, do you think that you're tilted, and how much of that is just that you've played 23 games in a row? You see, you're not doing yourself any favors, you know?
No, I mean, yeah, I feel you. But, like, I think the loss streak is mainly just the result of just me, just, like, all right, like, this is getting, like, at like, loss number, like, 12, I was like, all right, this the eventual win is coming. And then it never came, so... At that point, I'm just like, okay, well, it's the game. The game's broken. But I don't know. After 23 losses really humbles you, and I kind of, after my next session, I ended up winning like 5 in a row. So
shocking, really. Games like there he is. We were waiting for you. You know.
I don't know. I don't know. I think I just needed to be humbled, and I just needed to, like, Blizzard was just like, "Hey, wake up."
Yeah. I mean, it's really dangerous, you know, because the loss streaks not only like get you more and more tired and less energy, more tilted, but also, like you said, you tend to like devolve, like you were saying, go back to monkey state with Moira, you know, like. I'm going to start doing, like, this isn't working, so therefore I have to do this. You've left me no other choice but to pin into the enemy backline, right?
It's basically like, blame the DPS, and then play like a, play like a character like Mora, or... Yeah. I'm not really good at Zen, so I can't...
Yeah. Well, you've become, you've pretended that you've left me no other choice but to play worse, like that just, it becomes a strictly emotional response at that point, and then it's over, you know what I'm saying? It's absolutely over. So for me, it's like, obviously once you get to that position, you know, maybe somebody needs to hit you over the head with a hammer and, you know, put you out for like 24 hours. But my question is what do you need to do to stop that from being a problem? You know, where do we stop? How do we prevent that from getting to that state? Because it's like, well, how do you stop King Kong when he's on top of the Empire State Building? It's a little late for that, don't you think? You know what I'm saying? So how do we prevent that from ever being an issue? How do we prevent ourselves from ever getting there? You know what I'm saying? How?
I'm not really sure. I mean, I'm just working on mental every day, I guess.
Right. When do you stop playing?
I stop playing when I start like high guying and not thinking about, when I start noticing myself dying very easy, like dying in places like making gold silver mistakes. I'm just like, okay, I think I've exhausted the fuel.
Okay.
I kind of just stop. Even if I don't lose, I'm just like, oh well, you didn't lose, but you could have,
Right. Right.
or you should have.
Well, let's put it this way. Why are we even tying this into you could have lost? Who cares if you could have lost? Are you putting enough attention where the practice actually matters? And if you're not, then stop practicing. Do you know what I'm saying? Did you ever play sports as a kid much?
I played soccer.
Okay. Did you ever do like sprints in soccer, like wind sprints in soccer, or like run around in soccer? I don't know what it was like for you, but
Sprint, suicides, all that.
yeah. Did you ever have that like one coach? I ever feel like everybody's had who just like ran and ran you until the kids like nobody was even running anymore and was like puking on the sideline kind of a thing.
Yes.
Okay.
It was a very run heavy sport. So
Right. Well, respectfully, they're idiots. Okay, the coaches that do that kind of thing, because it gets to a certain point to where like nobody can run as fast as they can. Everyone's just like flopping and falling over and stuff like that. And then it's like, why are we doing this? What's the point of doing this? Why are we? Is this how we're going to be in game? Is this how we want to play? Are we really practicing our speed? Are we practicing our like cycle? Like we're not training to be Marines where you are going to be in some of the most miserable, difficult situations in your entire life, and you're developing your mind, right, to be able to deal with those horrific situations, right? That's not what we're training in sport. That's not what we're training in Overwatch. We're training to give everything that we got until we can't give everything we got, and then we're done, right? And so that's the risk with like not knowing when to stop is like when you said it's knowing when I'm gonna win or when I'm gonna lose, and we could have lost the game. Well, it's not even about that. Were you actually fully focused, giving it your all? Okay, then not. Then the practice is meaningless. You know, it's. Do you see what I'm saying? Like that's how practice has to be. That's how it has to be. Just inarguable. As hard as you can, as much effort as you can, and then when the intensity dips, you dip as well. Because at the end of the, if you keep going, then you're just training misery and mental endurance. You're not actually training Overwatch.
Yeah, I don't see how the mental endurance would help in Overwatch.
No, I don't see it either. It's not about that, not at all. I mean, maybe if you're playing on like sometimes like on these crazy tournaments, right? Like the grand finals or whatever, where you have to play like 12, 13, 14 maps in a row. But even then, it's like that's more about like who's the better team and who's the fresher team, who got the most rest, and not about like dealing, because that's a one time and done situation, right? Nobody cares if you can play 20 hours of ranked in a row. You're an idiot. You know what I'm saying? Nobody cares about that.
You know anyone that plays that much time?
I mean, streamers do all the time, but the way they do it is they go about 75%. They sit in autopilot all day, interact with chat. You know what I'm saying? They coast, right? I mean, have you ever heard of the game called Sekiro? This like fighting game? Yeah. I realize this with Sekiro all the time. I will get like stuck on a boss, and I'll just start like getting like tilt queuing, just go back and do it again and again, and I'll stop and I'm like, what am I doing? I've spent the last 10 tries and I'm not actually learned anything. In fact, I'm doing worse. And then what I'll do is I'll make myself do one more time, then stop. And without exception, that last effort is always my best effort, and either I beat it or I'll beat it the next day. That's just how it works. That's just how we work as humans work. It's not an Overwatch specific thing. So anyway, all right, I don't want to go on too much longer, but I think really for you it's going to be about being very, very focused on giving the intensity as necessary, knowing when you're fatiguing, not just when, we could have lost. Even if you did lose, but you were like actually playing well and you feel energized, keep going, right? But if you're starting to feel tilted or tired, both of those are the enemy, and you either need to take a break or you need to stop. Make sense?
That makes sense, yeah.
Okay. Let's look at some gameplay here. Kiriko, Junkertown, Platinum. I'm not going to even update my bottom left thing on my UI here. This is going to be whatever. Okay, so what is Kiriko good at? What have you been practicing with Kiriko?
Kiriko is good at...
It's hard, isn't it?
Why am I stuck on? I play this character literally all the time.
Doesn't matter. Listen,
Suzu is like one of the best abilities in the game. Okay. As of it, or it might be maybe not in 9 minutes, but Suzu's really good. Her ult is like probably the best support ult right now.
Okay.
She can pump out heals and damage. She's She's what Baptiste wants to be.
Sure. I like it. She's very, very, very mobile as well, right? So there's a lot of people that you can help at any point in time, and maybe that's where her advantage over Baptiste is more than anything, right? Where you could just be anywhere that you need to be at any point in time. Okay, right. Let's just go into it. Let's just see what we see. So you are just mashing the healing right now. Now here's a question for you. Has there been any real need for you to do, or really an opportunity for you to do any damage leading up to this point?
Yes, the Pharah is literally begging to be shot at.
The Pharah is, but what's unique about the Pharah compared to peeking down here? What's the difference?
Pharah is isolated.
Okay, that's a great point. And the other reason that's important is because of this sucker right here. You see?
Widowmaker.
Right. So now all of a sudden you have to be very selective with your damage. Sometimes if the enemy team has not a lot of range heroes, you could just do whatever the heck you want, right? But with this, the damage is still going to be important, but you're going to need to factor in when can I damage without getting my head blown off. I definitely think that there's opportunities here. Like I appreciate the healing that we're doing, but this Pharah is so aggressive and so isolated. You definitely could have thrown a couple pot shots at her. Because here's the thing: if you hit a couple of pot shots at her, is she going to die? Probably not. But she's going to have to play in a more defensible manner that will relieve pressure from your team. Do you see that?
Right. So
it's about finding that balance when damage is going to be more impactful than healing for protecting your team. Now you got to focus on healing because your Orisa is going to die. But okay, yeah, I don't know. I don't think this is too big of an issue. This is just a little bit unfortunate. Like you're like, oh shoot, my Bastion's low. My Mercy is with my Orisa. My Orisa gets booped. My Mercy just, I don't know what your Mercy does. She's just kind of a little dense. But I think this is whatever. You can't really help that. Unfortunate. So opportunities to do damage. Missed out. Be careful here. Can't help him. Let's get out. Woo! Okay. Now they're not a Widowmaker anymore, so there's going to be still on Hanzo, but there are going to be a little bit more opportunities to do some damage. Like right here, right? So this is like a good habit to build, even if you're a lower rank, where right here, do you see how you can heal and then throw a shot at the Pharah without moving your crosshair too much? You see that?
Yeah.
Free damage, free pressure. You would be surprised at the number of kills that will lead off of that. And then here, Suzu. Just a little too late. What were you taking damage from? I'm actually curious. Was it just damage orb?
Or orb.
The orb got a nasty bounce. Okay, whatever. So just goofy mistake.
I don't give up that easily.
Okay, trotting back. Get back. They get capped though. Now, here's a question for you. Could you teleport to your Bastion here?
I could.
Okay. Would it be safe? Do you have Suzu?
I have Suzu.
Okay. Where is the enemy team?
Right in front of the Bastion.
You sure? This is why tracking enemy teams. Go ahead.
They're playing on payload.
Right.
On payload.
So then, is this a good position for you to be?
It could be.
Could be. It's not bad. You could help your Bastion out, duel this Hanzo off, and then the Orisa, Kiriko, and Moira can't help you. So it would just be a 2v1, right? Now, obviously, it's easy for us to say that because we can whip out the replay viewer and pause it and pull out third-person view. But something to be looking for, like we talk about your mobility. How do we actually leverage that mobility? Well, to leverage that mobility, you have to either take angles yourselves when you can to put DPS out, or heal the angles when you can. But the question is when is it safe to go help those angles or to play those angles? Well, you have to know where the enemy team is, don't you? You have to know where they are. Because if you teleport here and the Orisa's up here, you might die, right? You might die. So what I would do here is as quickly as you can, listen or use your eyeballs so you can figure this out. Because now, that Hanzo should have died, and your Bastion should have survived. But do you see how the worst case scenario happened?
Yeah.
Now, I'm going to be honest with you. This was a tough call. You had to make a very split-second decision there. I'm not expecting that from you, but I'm bringing it up because it's something to consider. Like right now, could you help your Echo? Probably. Could you help your Orisa? Maybe, but you'd have to walk down here. I wouldn't teleport to her. Do you see what I'm saying? You can kind of use your gut about whether this is the safe teleport or not. But you certainly should be... Okay, good. And again here, is the Bastion a safe target? Now it's not. Now he's not. What about the Orisa now? Why did you teleport now, but you didn't teleport earlier? Honest question. This is not like... I'm not implying this is a mistake.
I feel like I'm a little safer with an Orisa rather than a Master.
Sure. I also feel like if you guys don't get kills off of this fight's lost. So this is a high risk, high reward play, but maybe it works out. But I will say that just TPing to somebody doesn't always necessarily mean you're dead. You just have to know ahead of time. And maybe that's a skill that we could be working on, is where my DPS, where are my supports, where's my tank? Is it going to be safe for me to teleport to somebody, you know? Maybe that's a skill that we can build. Like, would that have been a safe teleport there? Obviously, we didn't have time to, but would it have been? All right, let's get out. So this has been a kind of an ugly game for everybody. You've not had a lot of opportunities to just kind of do your job and live. You need to get out. You need to get out. Okay, nice. But there have been definitely opportunities for you to have more impact than you have at the moment. Team is doing a lovely textbook stagger. All right. Okay.
I'm healing full HP targets.
I mean, it's okay. There's nothing else to be doing at that point in time, right? Was there any target to shoot? Maybe. Maybe that's the mistake there. Like, I think maybe if you can safely peek that far, but there's nothing else to be doing, right? Your heal does have a travel time, so you might as well.
Right. Like kind of like precasting it.
Yeah,
like
sure.
Anticipating damage.
Sure. Either it's the same thing as damage. Like sometimes you just spam out a sightline. You know, there's nothing else to do. So sure. Okay. So I assume here comes the ult. Ult looks reasonable. Please use cover. Careful. Heal. Good.
Don't say anything, please.
That's okay. I'm not saying anything. It was a little bit disorienting hearing the Pharah go, oh. It sounded like she was getting shot at by something other than a turret. So I probably would have made the same mistake. So right now, there's not a lot of opportunity for you to be taking off angles and using your mobility much, right? Maybe you could help your ball a little bit, but you might just die for that. However, this is still something that you want to consider, because obviously, depending on the DPS that you play, you might have a Genji up here. You might have a Widowmaker or a Hanzo up here, in which case you might want to go up here. I mean, I would even consider going up here, just even if it was by myself. But, okay, let's see what we got. Ball dies. Torb is dead. Uh-oh. This is a bit of a mess, isn't it?
Maybe I should have picked a better VOD, I don't know.
No, it's okay. Because there's still, even as messy as this has been, there's been a lot of staggering. What have we still seen in terms of little things that you can improve upon?
Just taking off angles and trying to have a bigger impact on the game instead of just existing. Sure,
looking for opportunities to damage when you can, looking for opportunities to heal flankers when you can. I think that's been the big one for me so far. Outside of that, we've had one opportunity to use one ult the entire VOD, so not exactly amazing, but it's okay. Nice. Heal. Good. Damage. Now heal. Try to always weave that in. It's really helpful. Sometimes you just have to heal, right? Like right here.
Yeah.
But then sometimes, like right here, again, you have to just heal. but then now you can start be looking for damage again. A little bit too slow. So this is where, like, okay, I don't want to encourage you always to just teleport in and get yourself killed all the time. However, this right here, I want you to practice keeping awareness of where your flankers and where your DPS are. Like right now, here's a weird question for you. If you teleport to your Bastion here, you die, correct? Either the Bastion gets the kill or you die, right? But let me ask you a question. Let me ask you a question. Okay. If your Bastion dies here, this fight is lost, correct?
Basically.
Okay. So maybe here
you can get both supports if I
right. That's what I'm saying. So what I don't want you to do is I don't want you to feed. But if you see somebody going in aggressively and you're like, they're going to die if I don't help them, maybe that's a world where you assist them. Maybe wall climb out or something, do something funny. You know, obviously make sure you have Suzu. But then maybe this fight is won if you do that. Because yes, you'll survive if you don't, but the fight's lost either way. Do you see what I'm saying?
You're right.
That's kind of my question here. And knowing, now obviously if this is a Tracer with recall, different story, because she should be able to protect herself. But, I mean, you do get out too. So, I don't know. Something to consider. Not something that I have really brought up in a VOD review before. It's like knowing when you might as well just go for the assist, because if you don't, the fight's lost either way. Still opportunities for damage here that we're leaving, right? We talk about healing full HP targets. It's totally fine, but there's opportunity for damage here. Whether it's a pressure on the Orisa, throwing a pot shot at a Pharah, build your ult a little bit faster, put out a little bit of pressure on your team, maybe get a kill every now and then. That's what we want. But like right now, we stay just a little bit too long in damage, where pre-healing this Orisa would have probably been okay, right? Damage, 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 then heal, right? Do you know where your Sojourn is right now?
Right next to me.
Right, okay.
I see your gun.
Good, just making sure. Huh, nice shot. Nice. Uh-oh, uh-oh, uh-oh. Unfortunate. Might need to Suzu this, might need to Suzu this. Uh-oh, too slow in the Suzu. Bastion needed Suzu.
I don't know why I did that.
That's okay, that's okay, that's okay.
Sometimes I think I just worry about my own survivability.
That's alright. Heal, 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 heal. Maybe we get a good ult here. Your Bastion needs survive. Your Bastion needs healing. Yeah, so you're losing track of your DPS a lot. It's not just on here. This also happened on first defense as well, second defense, and even third defenses to an extent, where you generally are losing track of your DPS. And I was thinking maybe it's because you're playing too far forward, but I don't necessarily think that's the case. I think you need to do a better job of like checking your DPS's position. You are a great tank healer, but obviously your Orisa has a lot of tools for survivability. And if these guys can get healed up or get support, they're going to be able to kill the enemy team. But like, I imagine this from your Bastion standpoint. Like, watch this. Oh crap, right? Like, that would be so frustrating to me. Do you know what I'm saying? Where, you know, he could have played covered better, but you just don't heal him. So I want you, that is definitely one skill that we can work on. And the funny thing is that's a skill that you should be working on with Mercy as well. And even to an extent, Ana, like really kind of keeping your head on a swivel and paying attention to what's going on around you, but you're getting too tunneled on what's directly in front of you, and you're missing opportunities to help your off angles and your DPS elsewhere. That needs to be better.
Okay. That makes sense.
Okay. Like, this VOD review has been very dry, but it doesn't mean that there's any lack of things to improve upon. Opportunities to damage here, right? Where are my DPS, right?
Right behind me. I'm too aggro. You're right.
I mean, it was very reasonable for you to go aggressively there, but I think just a quick 180 when you get a chance, or right before you pop the Kiriko ult, you would have seen that your Bastion was half HP. A little too sticky in the damage. A little bit of healing here. Okay. Let's watch a little bit more here. can only go a few more minutes because I do have a session after this one, but we will we'll get as much as
oh
we
yeah,
can.
don't please don't let me hold.
Oh, I generally go over. That's my general rule. So good. How you DPS doing? How you DPS doing? Because here's the thing. Here's the thing. If your Orisa has this corner here, and she has a cooldowns, my Spidey sense is going off. I feel like there might be a fight going on above us. Maybe not. Yeah. See, I knew it. You could be so helpful here. You know what I'm saying? And you could still heal your Orisa.
They're fine on their own, but like I don't know that. So.
Right. And the thing is even if they're fine on their own, at some point there's probably gonna be some sort of trading here. You need to win this high ground. You need to win this 1v1. It's not just about the high ground. It's also like what's your contribution right now? Basically nothing. You're shooting a 4-5 Orisa and healing a fortified Orisa, right? But ready, 3, 2, 1. That could have not been better timed. I did not. Do you see what I'm saying?
Right.
Like that is the fight. Dude, I just reviewed it in Orisa actually before this, and it was the same issue with the Orisa, where there was like so much attention on main, and then the angles were just like butchering their team. Like that's brutal, you know? That's brutal. And you can help that. You have the mobility to help that. You could have even had a good sightline to heal your Orisa from there too. So that's actually a perfect little encapsulation of what you probably need to Suzu this. Ooh, gosh. Oh my gosh. Nice shots. I love it. But that right there is like a perfect little like encapsulation of like what you need to work at right here. Oh dear. So minor thing, you're a little too close here when she has her ult, but look at when you Suzu right here. So right when you Suzu, I'm gonna go to her POV. Do you see her power? The number in the middle?
118.
Right, unless you are already low HP or somebody's low HP, this is only going to do 118 damage. So do not Suzu now. It needs to be now, because this is when it would have actually have executed. In fact, you might not have needed to Suzu that one at all. Because I can tell you, as somebody who plays Orisa, I eat up Kirikos like you for lunch. Because you're going to blow that Suzu, and then before you get out, you're going to be dead. Okay.
Actually, did not know that.
Yeah. It builds up really slowly for the first 150%, and then after the first 150%, which is like, I forget, it's like 2 seconds, it goes super fast. So the timing there is extremely important. You need to be waiting at least half a second longer. Okay. You know, this is what we talked about, right? Okay. Are you going to die here if this Orisa doesn't survive? Yes. But if this Orisa dies, I think the fight's lost. You know what I'm saying? I think it's over. So you go in for a very high risk play, but you know what? You might win the fight off of that. You see this? You see this? You see that? Really nice play. Very high risk, but you had Suzu, and you knew that you had to save the person right there. And you would not have been able to save that person if you weren't paying attention. If you weren't like really focused on what was going on around you. And it's not just about, oh, help your DPS. It's help your tank too. Help your support. I need you more aware of what's going on around you.
Okay.
Okay.
I've always had that problem, I feel like.
That's okay. So then, okay, so let's stop the review right here. How do we build that skill? Because it's obviously like, you need more awareness. That's so stupid. How do we build that? How do you practice building awareness and helping these different positions besides what's directly in front of you? How do you practice that?
Using my mouse and looking around.
When?
All the time.
Okay. When is the best time to do that, though? The easiest time to do that? Because it's hard mid-fight sometimes, right? There's a lot of stuff going on. You're hitting your shots. Things are getting chaotic, right?
Like maybe in the pre-fight stage.
Yeah.
And then probably again post-fight.
Yeah. Maybe as the fight develops, if you get time to like check, that will always be helpful. But certainly in the pre-fight, because if we go back to when... Was it here when you died? Yeah, so like, here's the thing. There's nothing happening right now, right? Nothing happening, correct?
Right.
Okay, so she's alive right here. This downtime. And let me tell you, there she is, right? In fact, we can go back even further than this. Do you see? Right? this is time. Like, obviously, you're aware of my Marissa walking forward. I'm aware of my Sojourn. So there's time before where you can actually track these guys' positions and be able to decide if you can help them or not. So as dull as it may seem, I think that's a skill that we have to work on. Pre-fight, and then when we can, when there's downtime mid-fight, look around at the enemy team's position and your team's position and make decisions on who to support based off of that. Does that make sense?
Yes.
That is a skill you need to practice, and I imagine that's a skill you need to practice in all of your support heroes. And your second skill needs to be finding more times to weave in damage and finding times when you need to be focusing on just healing. So a little bit of your mechanics, not just in terms of like hitting your shots, but deciding when to left click, when to right click. Does that make sense? And the funny thing is that is also a relevant skill for your other support heroes as well, right? It's all about min-maxing with Mercy damage boost, right? But knowing when you have to heal, knowing when you have to damage boost, and if you were to play Ana, and heck, even Moira, right? Same exact kind of thing. Do you have any questions?
Nah, I don't want to. I really don't have anything.
Okay.
It's just more of a. Yeah, I should probably work on this. It's probably a skill I will need in more than just Overwatch 2. Probably more other video games. As well.
Sure. Absolutely. If you do have any questions, just shoot me a message anytime. Remember what we talked about leading up to this, the actual VOD review itself was really, really important. The attitude stuff, the training stuff, the hero pool stuff, the quick play thing, all that crap. That is much more important than anything we talked about in the review. Good luck practicing that. Keep me updated with how all that stuff goes. Shoot me a message anytime. And then, are you familiar with the replay code review? Or replay code rule, excuse me.
Replay code rule?
Yep, so anytime you'd like, it could be a week from now, 2 months from now, whenever, shoot me a replay code with a couple of timestamps, like 10:30, 14:40, and 2:40, and I will get you some written feedback within a couple days. So if you're like, okay, a little bit like, can be a follow-up with more Kiriko, or it could be Mercy, or it could be Ana or Moira, or whatever you're practicing at the time. If you just want to, like, what should I do here? I wasn't sure about my positioning here. Was this a good decision? What should I do versus this composition, and so on? Just shoot me a message, and I'll give you some feedback in a couple days. Sound good?
Sounds good.
All right, mate. Keep in touch. Good luck. And remember, practice one thing at a time. One thing at a time.